You were an inch, 1/8 of an inch, whatever the medical measurement is in Zach Wilson's knee, away from having a partner, and you've worked with me for a long time.
Yep.
Not seeing me in a manner that I don't think you've ever seen me. Let Tiki.
I saw your Twitter.
Tiki.
I was going to say I heard your Twitter, but you didn't really say anything. So.
Tiki, I'll tell you this, man. You know, I have tried. Now, thank God, until they actually do the surgery, we won't really know, but it looks a lot better than we thought. I was at a place, and I know I was not alone, on Friday night that I have not ventured to emotionally a little bit since the Porzingis trade, and I can't remember the last time since that where I could not muster up a syllable. I could not muster up a modicum of possibility within the flash of an eye. Now, keep in mind, I've tried to resist this whole fatalistic thing. I can't stand it. I hate people who think like losers, who are programmed like losers. I believe that is not my life and my life's work. You are the fan of a losing team, for basically every team you root for. When he went down, let me take a step before that. When he threw the pick, you got to remember everything we've talked about this offseason. They got this guy, they got that guy, they drafted this guy, they signed that guy, coaching continuity, put on 20 pounds of functional weight, year number 2, let's go. And you're telling me that the football gods were 1/8 of an inch away from doing what almost happened to us?
Yeah.
Now, I can look at this two ways. The tide is changing, or it's just always going to be a lifetime of teasing.
Yeah. Well,
that was hell.
It was emotional hell, I'm sure. But as a non-Jet fan, but someone who appreciates the journey that the Jets are on, here was my take. The first thing I thought was, that's an ACL. You've seen it so many times. Jimmy Garoppolo had the exact same thing, almost the exact same type of cut. Jimmy was doing it to the left side. Zach Wilson was on the right side. You overplant, your knee buckles, you go down, nobody touches you. ACL. First thing I thought, ACL, he's done for the season. But the second thing I thought was, because of all the things you just mentioned, you draft Garrett Wilson, you draft Jermaine Johnson, you draft Sauce Gardner all in the first round. You have this unbelievable offseason where you get DJ Reed, you sign Langston Tomlinson. You shore up all of these pieces around who was supposed to be your quarterback. The second thought I had was, the Jets are going to be all right. They don't need Zach Wilson to start turning the corner to being a good team, right? And I know that sounds crazy. I know it sounds crazy because so much of this
You're not even wrong.
Right.
You're not wrong.
But it's so much predicated on the quarterback. I mean, how much did we talk about last week? All that matters is the quarterback. Zach Wilson's not the guy.
We did 3 hours on Friday how I think Zach Wilson's going to be, he's like the most talented Jet quarterback since Joe Namath. And that night, they scrape him off the turf. That night.
But here's the thing. You can't disagree with everything that they've done. Zach Wilson hasn't been the man for them yet. And
That's true.
And so all of the moves that they made make the team better. And so who knows what we get out of Joe Flacco? I'm not optimistic, but Joe Flacco has been a Super Bowl champion at some point in his career. And
he's been ripping it up this summer. He's looked very good, the reports are.
Mike White, save for that game against Buffalo where they stuck him in there and let him get his head beat in, was actually pretty good.
It was.
In Zach Wilson's stead last year. As crazy as it sounds, even though Zach Wilson is out for 2 to 4 weeks, depending on the results of the scope that you mentioned, it's going to happen tomorrow.
Yep.
I think they're going to be all right.
Yeah, but that's not the point. See, this is the difference between somebody, and I get it, you're not a Jets fan, somebody who lives and dies with a team and somebody who does not. What Tiki just said is 1,000% right. You can even make the case that if Joe Flacco started, even if Zach was healthy, the Jets would have a better chance to win early.
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, a little bit. He throws a great deep ball and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. That is not the point. Because even if somebody like Flacco or White willed them to an extra 2, 3, 4 wins, the ultimate point is, well, but where are we? Then the next year, Flacco's 38, 39, and then, like, if it was really an ACL, and he's out for a whole year. We're having the same conversations in the same studio next year, wondering rather than reacting to what Zach Wilson's done. So he's not out for the season. So obviously we don't need to belabor this to the high heavens. But man, oh man, I was fluctuating between raving lunatic madman inwardly, because I have kids and I can't, to completely despondent and inconsolable. I was listless. I mean, Tiki, I take this stuff seriously, but at the end of the day, I do realize sports is secondary. Like, I love it, and I played it, and I wanted to do this my whole life, but I do eventually get a little separation between what really matters and what doesn't. I have not felt that way in over a decade. Can't remember it. Yeah. And the worst part is, I got my son who's sitting next to me, but Dad, nobody even hit him. So now I've got to explain somehow, as my eyes glued to the TV, ligaments, tendons, non-contact. So I'm trying to do that. Then I go upstairs. This is the worst part.
Yeah, how is the household with you?
My wife hit me with something. It would almost have been easier to have heard in the moment, I'm packing my bags and I'm leaving you, than what she actually said to me. Can I tell you what she said to me?
What did she say?
Because we were actually, she was packing. We went to the beach for a little bit with great friends this weekend down in Diamond Beach, New Jersey. So I go up to make sure because I wanted to pack our gloves. I knew we were going to throw on the beach, blah, blah, blah. She actually said to me, she said, "What's wrong?" I said, "Oh, Zach," I couldn't even speak.
Yeah.
And she looked at me, and she wasn't kidding. Now, in her defense, she was a little distracted because she was folding clothes and packing the kids' bathing suits, etc. But she said to me, "Why don't you just find another football team?" What?
Yeah, hell yeah, Jen.
Why don't you just
way to add fuel to the fire?
Because I'm knocking on the door of 50,
Kerosene.
and every emotional fiber in my existence is connected to the team
that's awesome.
that I root for. That's
awesome.
why.
Great job, Jen.
Oh my God!
Way to ignite it even more.
Well,
I love that.
What do you mean you love it? What do you love it?
Yeah, she was absent-mindedly trying to find a way to make you feel better. She was actually trying to make you feel better. She was trying to soothe you in some way.
I just kept it moving.
Not realizing.
I didn't even respond.
Not real. I
just kept walking.
Knowing you,
I said, "Let me keep going."
I know you just walked out of the room.
I did.
But here's the thing, though,
Yes,
BT.
Tiki.
Zach Wilson hasn't proven that he's
Nothing.
your guy yet.
Nothing.
Right? And so this is more of you're upset about the idea or the potential destruction of the idea,
correct,
of what Zach Wilson could be.
Yes.
Not the actuality that this Jets team could be good.
I agree.
Even without him.
And by the way, yes, that is very true. He represents hope. That's why whether it was and we'll get to the Mets and Yanks later, obviously, but Generation K back in the day with the Mets, Wilson, Pulsifer, Izzy, that represents a spark to get me out of this baseball graveyard. When Kevin Moss came up back in the day and was banging home runs left and right, he looks like an actor. He's got the jaw. He's got the big, strong lefty stance. Boom, home run. Boom. He represented an uplifting from the demise of the Yankees at that point. They were horrendous. When the most recent trio of young pitchers came up for the Mets and got them to the World Series, and then things obviously fell apart. That represented a liaison to get away from hell, a bridge away from hell. And the way I and every Jet fan views Zach Wilson, much like the way Giant fans initially viewed Daniel Jones, and by the way, it looked like they had a stink of he was 6 for 20 in practice. Wow. Yeah. Yesterday, over the weekend. But Zach Wilson, he represents hope, which, aside from actually winning, is the most galvanizing emotion that any fan can have. And then all the things we talk about, he's going to be good, he's going to do this, the first series he throws a pick. So now he did. How do you not see that linebacker there? Jesus, how do you not see that?
Floating over. I mean, it's classic.
How do you not see that? So the first thing you got to work your way through is, all right, we might have to dial down the hope that this guy's actually the guy. Then the next series, bang, dime to Conklin. That's what we expected. And then the next play, we think his knee is shattered.
The first one, BT, the first interception, the reason that happened is because he just wanted an easy completion. He wanted an easy completion, and he didn't look. So he's just like, I know this is going to be open. I'm going to throw it. Well, they know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right? The hard ones, nothing in the NFL is easy, period. Even
Well,
if you think
that
it is.
one looked pretty easy. I mean, if that's not easy, then nothing's going to be easy for him. I mean, come on,
It
man.
got better until it got significantly
it
worse.
was almost catastrophic. All right, it's 10:12 here on the Fan. Thank God we're not presiding over a funeral already.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, talk about like you can't have a more dispiriting start. But it looks like the Jets really avoided disaster, which at least gives us more time to hope. Mets continue to roll. We'll get to that. Yankees continue to look feeble. But really, the takeaway was Friday. And then, we'll get into some other stuff, of course, busy weekend. But, man, oh, man, that was, wow. Ox is in Montvale. What's happening, Ox? How you doing today?
Yo, guys, how we doing? I'm as depressed. Well, before we get started, BT, I'm on the trip to Green Bay. So
Nice.
I am going with you. Yeah, I'm hoping I was thinking maybe we can get a little 18 in the morning and Saturday morning.
You know, it's
or
funny,
some
Ox.
Fishing,
Yeah.
some trout fishing or something.
Yeah. I was thinking
If you can
about
find something. Ox from Montville's in. All right, he's in.
Interesting. Well, the only thing about that, hit me up on DM. Hit me up on DM on Twitter because we'll talk about the trip separately. But those are possible options. I've got some professional logistics and responsibilities that I've got. But there could be a window. Hit me up on DM. Now go ahead.
I will. Hey, as far as Friday night, you said I couldn't believe Friday. I was excited. It was the hope of my life. Everything's going. I'm bad. I feel bad with Becton. I wanted him to be there, and that was it. This was going to be our hope. We were going to take it to the Eagles, and boy, it was depressing. It was depressing to watch Zach get hurt, Phil limp off the field, watch our defense just look like, I know it's nothing, but it's something. And, man, it was a depressing moment. It's been a tough weekend. It's been a tough life as a Jets fan. I do think the team is in a new going in the right direction. I like what we're doing, and maybe might even get a little bit better because Flacco might be mature. But Zach was our great hope, and our window's so short until we're going to have to pay him if he's great, or even we think he's going to be great. He's
Correct.
Cost us whatever.
Yep.
That's the problem. But hey, I think we got hope, and the Mets are keeping it going. We'll talk about the Mets another time. I don't know if the GM's great, but so far everything else is working great. So
Mets
I'm excited.
Awesome. I can't wait, man. Give me that DM, Ox. Give me that DM. We're going to connect. Give me that DM here. No, the Mets look phenomenal. I tweeted this yesterday. The Mets play baseball like the Mets attack baseball like a really good, locked-in, well-coached football team attack Sundays.
Yeah. No,
that is
right.
not easy to do when you play every day.
You've noticed that for a couple of weeks, few weeks, really months now. Every game means something. Like there's an urgency with how they take the baseball field. And that's why those early big series against, say, the Dodgers on the West Coast and the Padres and the Angels and then the Yankees, they play these games because it's a practice to playing high-leverage games. And so when they get into a critical, tight situation, they're going to be ready for it.
Heartbeat's used to it.
100%. 100% they're used to it.
No doubt. 877-337-6666. So, Tiki and Tierney here on The Fan. We're inside of our Town Fair Tire studio. Our friends at Town Fair remind you that you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Justin is in Queens on The Fan with Tiki and Tierney. What up, Justin?
What's going on, guys?
All's
BT. First of all, let me explain to you. I'm in a family full of Giant fans, right? So I'm talking smack. I'm the only one that can defend the Jets.
What happened
right?
to you, Justin? What happened?
What's that?
What happened to you? Everybody's Giants fans. What happened to you?
Listen, not everybody can be smart and good looking. But listen, so I'm always talking smack, right? I'm happy. It's Friday night, first game.
Huh?
And so I wasn't home at the beginning of the game. So my uncle texted me, he's like, Zach is hurt. I was like, dude, that's not funny. Don't even joke like that. He's like, yo, I'm not joking.
Uh-huh.
So I finally see that it's true, and I'm just like, I'm hitting the bottle after that, right? I'm in the bed, and I don't think I hit refresh on Bleacher Report so many times in my life during the course of Zach being injured at like midnight, trying to see the update if he was really out for the season.
Yep.
You can't help but just think, like, why can't we have anything nice? Like, don't we deserve to have something nice?
We do.
Every once in a while, like, so let's just hope that, because now you're reading that they don't, they think that it's going to be good, but until they actually get in there and start cutting.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So we're not out of the woods.
No.
So let's just hope that it's just 4 weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, by the way, Justin, there's no question. I mean, everything. The only thing I didn't do was hit the bottle because I had to get up early. We were taking the kids to the beach, and I was up at like 5:30. I didn't even care that Clay Holmes blew a save. I watched that emotionless when the Yankees, spit the bit again. I didn't even care. Here's the thing, though. Justin just said we can't have anything nice. I'm going to take it a step further. What really hurt in that moment is that we really don't even know if Zach Wilson's nice. So if you want to really give it a better description, what you should say about Jet fans is that we're not even allowed to have the concept of having something potentially nice.
Yeah, so because you don't know where he is, which is as an agnostic viewer of the Jets,
man,
and really just looking at it as an analyst, because there's a good chance I'll call one of their games this year.
Yep.
I look at it as an analyst and I say, all right, they did this in the offseason with we just ran through it with the offensive line, with the secondary help. The draft was fantastic. Lawson's back. So you had one of the, basically by every analyst's standpoint, the second best offseason of anybody in football. Now you're playing the first best in the Ravens in week 1, but that's beside the point. Even without Zach Wilson, this team should be better.
Yes.
And if Joe Flacco, who has had success in his career, at the end of his Baltimore Ravens tenure, it was not set up for him to be successful. But now maybe he's got a successful package here in New York. But I get it.
You're not wrong with that.
The bigger picture is we had a franchise quarterback in theory in our midst.
Yep.
And now we don't even get to think about that because he's already hurt after just one preseason game.
If Joe Flacco, let's say that it went the other way, and thankfully it did not. Well, we think it didn't.
Yeah.
It's not out of the woods yet, but it looks like he's going to be okay. But if Flacco played the whole year and they went 11-7, where are you going with that? At least if you tell me it's Mike White.
Playoffs.
Okay, I understand that. I understand, but
maybe you sneak in and win one. Dude, he won a Super Bowl.
But you're missing the point.
I know what you're saying.
He's not winning the Super Bowl for us.
So wait, hold on. So if Joe Flacco has this amazing season, so let's say.
What do you mean, like Vinny? Like Vinny had that renaissance in '98.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The difference is Vinny's from Long Island, and the Jets coach was Bill Parcells. So it was already a totally different feel.
Yeah, but it could be Joe Flacco's from Delaware and Robert Saleh.
Well, he played at Delaware. Is he from Delaware?
I don't actually know where he's from.
I know he played at Delaware. Yeah.
You're right. He's a bluehead. Yeah. And Rob Saleh could be the next great coach in New York history.
I don't rule it out.
And it starts because Joe Flacco, a veteran, took a much improved Jets team deep into the postseason and maybe even messed around and made it to the Super Bowl. Now, that's not going to happen, but just say, if that happened, how would you be upset as a Jet fan?
Because it's a Band-Aid. That's why. But that's why. I mean, and that's you say the same thing about any team that's never won. I mean, that's why even the Knicks a couple of years ago, and hopefully the Knicks were on the right track with Brunson, blah, 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 the young kids. But when you're winning in a bubble and then you play the Hawks and you get absolutely schooled and second-team All-NBA superstar regresses to a guy who was absolutely horrendous, you realize, I was misleading. So it's one thing to be misled by the Yankees because the Yankees have at least given you, a lot, even though from a Yankee point of view it's been thin since 2009.
Oh, they're in trouble this year.
They are in trouble. They're in trouble, man. But I'll tell you, just imagine if you're as big a Jet fan as I am, and if you're a Jet fan, you are as big a Jet fan as I am, because that's the way we roll in the city. Same with Giants and all the teams. Imagine getting hit with from your wife. 10 minutes after that went down, why don't you just find a new team, honey?
I can't help but laugh at that.
Why don't you find a new team, honey?
I'm not laughing at your pain.
Why don't you find a new team, honey? Well, she throws the honey in there to soften it. I didn't even hear the honey part.
Did you even contemplate?
I kept walking.
For a second?
I kept walking.
For 1 second.
I just kept walking.
For a second, you said, maybe I'll be a Chiefs fan.
Yeah, come on, stop. Don't start the idiocy. I walked into our bedroom because I was going to get the bag to pack the gloves for the beach. And I walked into the bedroom, closed the door, stared at the ceiling for about 30 seconds, and didn't say a word. I honestly couldn't speak. I mean, if you're a Jets fan, I think.
I am, first of all, and I was away at a tournament this weekend, and that broke my heart. We were out partying, and I look at the phone and I go, what the hell just happened? It was gross, but it's also like your wife going to you like, honey, why don't you just quit your job?
Yeah.
Like seriously, like this is our life. This
Exactly.
This is not just for like it's fun.
Yes,
but this is
for
this is
sure.
our passion.
Yeah, and then you got to get all the tweets. Jets already jetting, all the things on. So everybody's making fun of us. So I can't. Thank God we don't have to worry about that. But that was an icy patch that I have not felt from any point of view of my fandom in a long time. Man, 877-337-6666.